Welcome to another edition of Northern Heat. My name is Bob Lennon, President of ThermalWood Canada, and the host for the show. And today our special guest, Megan Chamberlain. How are you today, Megan?
Good. How are you?
Not bad. So, Megan, you've just recently been appointed as, is it director of the Chaleur Chamber of Commerce? Yeah. So tell us a little bit about, how do you feel about that? Because you've been around the chamber for quite a while. When I was president, you were there as a student, I believe, or right afterwards, not far away. And that was a number of years ago. But you've been involved with the chamber for quite a while. And now you've worked your way up the ranks. And now you're chief cook and bottle washer. So what do you think about that?
It's exciting. It's crazy because I started off in 2020 as the summer student. I had applied back when my mom was working for the Hive with the chamber.
Yeah.
And I remember being told, nope, you're not allowed to work because, your mom works. And I was like, dang it. But then as soon as she got out, I applied, I got in, and I did summer student for 2 years. And I had 1 year where I was still in university, but the courses I had were mostly just electives. So I was able to still move back home, do my courses, and work full time. So I balanced both. I did that for full time for 2 years. And then this January, I became interim. And then in September, I was appointed director. So it's exciting. It's nice to see that people, that the board has trust in me.
And the other thing too is this is homegrown because you've learned from every kind of position that you could have inside the chamber and what to do. So being new and this is the new year and we've always got resolutions on things we want to do. So what are your plans? What do you want to do for the chamber?
Well, for next year, I definitely want to keep our events, obviously. Everything, I think we had a great year for events this year. And again, for next year, but I really want to focus on lobbying for our members next year. I feel like we've been trying to do it, but maybe not as much as we can. And I think that's really important, like everything going on with the airport and just like important subjects for them that we can help on, whatever files they are. We actually sent out a survey this morning, end of year survey on what people want to see for next year. What can we help them do? So I think next year's really just going to depend on the needs of the members and what they want from us, whether it's more benefits, whether it's again like things like lobbying, whether it's activities, more networking events. So it's more based on their needs, but events are mostly going to stay the same for the next year. Tweak some things and keep them the same. And so I think it's going to be a really great year.
So when you're talking about lobbying and doing stuff, like you just said, you just sent out a survey to the members to find out what they're looking for?
Yeah, so it was on our newsletter that we sent out this morning, actually. Okay. If anybody didn't get it, they can send us a message. I can also send out a mass email. So that went out to all of our members. And it's just really to get their feedback on how the year went, if they found that their membership was beneficial to them, if there's anything that they look forward to for next year. Basically just... It's a short one. It's not like too long that takes up too much of your time, but enough to still get some good feedback and see what's important to them, right? Because they paid the annual membership. You want membership to be beneficial to them. So,
So how many members are in the chamber now?
285 as of like
okay.
today. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, we've got a lot more businesses from there. And so, it's been a struggle even when I was with the chamber is that is trying to get more members in and get them to understand. So you got any plans for that to try to recuperate more and go get more?
We've done recruitment on the road before and it does work, but honestly, just word of mouth is the best thing. Like even when we have discussions during our board meetings, we'll have someone say, by the way, I know someone, I talked to him about it. He wants to become a member. And a huge chunk of it is really just word of mouth and social media as well. So we've been preparing. That's going to start next year is, I think it might come out weekly or bi-weekly, but it's going to be the benefits of being a member. And we're really, really going to push hard on that and make sure that it's being shared with people that are not just members, bringing that to our events because, for example, golf, people come to our tournament. They're not necessarily all members. They might be playing with someone that's a member, but not everyone on the team is. So make sure that we're really pushing it. Yeah. So basically just making sure that we're doing a good job pushing for next year for work.
Yeah, because, there are advantages and people might not understand what the advantages are, especially when you're talking about lobbying, because, you've got the Chaleur Chamber, but then you've got all the other chambers, and you can find out from them, and then the power that has to go to the Atlantic Chamber of Commerce, and then there's a Canadian Chamber of Commerce. You know, there's all kinds of advantages there, and pressures that can be brought against or not against, but towards a lot of governments to just see how things can be changed, right?
Absolutely. And another thing too that's important that not everyone knows is that we pay memberships with the Atlantic Chamber of Commerce and the Canadian Chamber of Commerce. And by us paying those memberships, we get benefits for our members extra on top of what we offer them. So we try to send that out with the membership kits. That's yearly. But next year we're going to push it more, keep sending it to remind people, because not everyone's aware of everything that you have to offer. So that's one way that we're planning on making sure that they're aware.
Yeah. And the larger groups like the Atlantic Chamber, that they offer many times, they offer all kinds of training and stuff like that would not necessarily, you wouldn't have access to it if you didn't know about it or weren't a member of the chamber, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So they have everything. They have different types of training. They even have mediation, I think that's right.
Yeah.
Services. I'd have to go check upstairs to get all of them, but they have savings on gas. They help with certain documents that people would need. They help with certifications and things like that. There's a big list that I have upstairs that we share that I can definitely share with you or anyone that wants to see it. But there's a lot of them. There's a bunch that you wouldn't think of. Yeah. That you see that and you're like, oh wow, I would have never thought that they would offer something like that.
Well, you kind of become like a big buying group, right? So, as for example, I know that you've sent this out before, is that to get cheaper rates for freight and using Purelator or FedEx and I forget which ones that were offering discounts, but for a small company that ship out a lot, that that bit of a savings might be worthwhile at the end of the day.
Yeah. So what we use it's called Flagship. So it's a company that we have a partnership with. So anyone who's a member of the chamber that uses them for their orders, they save money off of their orders, and then we also get a little return. So it's a nice little partnership between the two, but not everyone knows about it. So we try to share that. Every so often they'll send us things, especially around the holidays or just every so often, and we share that with our members. But that's also in the membership kit that people get. So if ever they're not sure what they get with their membership, that's where you'll find it.
So there's benefits. Yeah. And that's the big point here, right? There are benefits of joining. And so what do you have for staff now? How many people do you got working at the chamber?
We are 3. So 2 employees. We're 3 employees of the chamber, but one is a program. So his name is Jonathan. And the way that it works, technically the program is with Working in B. It's called the Retiree Agency Program. So it's to help people that either want to return to the workforce or to help employers who are looking for people to fill those positions. And it's anyone over the age of 50. So the way that it works, it's so flexible. So let's say that you're over 50 and you retired, but you want to go back to work, but you only want to work 3 days a week and you want to do something completely different than you've done your entire life. That's the perfect program. So what he does is that he meets with retirees and employers, and he's on the road, and he has a system. So he's got his system where he puts everyone who's registered, retirees and employers, and he calls himself the Tinder of work or something like that. Yeah. So what he does is he matches the two. Yeah. So then that's basically it. There's no written contract with us. He just helps put those two together, and then he just hopes that that person will stay as ever long as they need and the employer needs. And it's been going really well. We've had this project since I think 2022, and you're seeing that there's a real need for it, especially around the holidays and in the summer when the students leave. And yeah, so that's something.
Well, there's a major benefit, right? Because on top of that, just think about the age group that this is targeting. That's the age group that has all the experience.
That's exactly right. Yeah. They have the skills that not necessarily, I'm not talking bad about my generation, but we're still young. So they've lived enough that they have so much more experience, and who better else to have than those people? Really.
Yeah. And then for any businesses, that is a big, big, big benefit, is finding people that have experience, because if you don't have that, then it's very costly to train new people and to start them up to get them to a certain level so they can do it.
Yeah, I fully agree. And even like, I'll give you an example. So we had one that it was an employer looking for someone while their employee was on maternity leave. So Jonathan found them someone and they went and they were there for a few months, but they still keep in contact, even though the retiree is no longer there. It was just for a short period of time. They're still, and they can go right back into the system. So let's say that you're there for a short period of time and it's not like it's not necessarily like just for a certain, like a sick leave or a maternity leave. Then if you leave, you can go right back into our system. Like, it's not a one-time thing. If he finds you something else, he'll let you know. And here, I found something else. Are you interested? Type of thing. So it's a huge benefit. And I feel like it's something we're trying to push more and more and let people know that we have it, because not everyone knows.
Well, that's the key, right? Is not everybody knows. And here it is, a great program. Listen, it's been great having this chat with you, and hopefully that this helps get a lot of words out there to people and let them know, like you say, word of mouth is a way to get the message out there. And you know what you're doing. And the other part of this that's great is that you're a young lady that comes from Bathurst and still lives in Bathurst and still doing stuff. And it's great to have you here. It's great to see that you've been able to move up inside the organization. Congratulations on that appointment. And I'm sure you're going to do a great job. And because of that, one of the things that why we do the Northern Heat is to talk about these stories, but also to kind of celebrate the things that people that are doing great things. So because of that, I do have a gift for you.
Oh, thank you.
So here we go.
Oh, thank you.
And I know you wear hats every so often, because every so often I see you with one on. And now you get to wear a Northern Heat hat,
I love it. Thank
which
you.
only the people that go on this show get one.
Very special.
There we go. So thank you very much.
Thank you, bud.
Congratulations on the new job.
Thank you.
And there we have it. Another edition of Northern Heat for this week, the place you come to listen to the stories that haven't been discovered yet.